loan program. 4089 is a 6.99, which they definitely can't get as their pay. But not only that, for 180 months, that's 15 years. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. You're not getting a 15-year loan walking into your bank, and you're definitely not getting a 6.99 rate. So you're offering something now that you can stand on when you're a customer that they can't get it anywhere else. Yes.
Why is the interest rate lower on the 180 months compared to the 120 months?
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
There's a psychology by why we do that. You'll probably figure it out on your own when we get into the app.
Okay.
Because we have it, we could, but you'll see here in a second. Now, the payment factor on these two loans is built into the plan number, and payment factor is the multiplier to calculate the monthly payment. So if we looked at a $10,000 loan,
Oh, that's smart.
1.32%. $10,000 loan, 0.89%. So a customer's payment here is $132. If I get a payment objection, I can go all the way down to 89, because there's no prepayment penalty anyway, so why do you care?
Did you say that again one more time? Please?
So the payment factor, which is the multiplier to calculate the payment. Now, the app's gonna do everything for you, but I built it into the app, so it's gonna do all the calculations. But if your app were to die, or you forgot your password, can't get in,
Who
as
does
long,
that?
as long, yeah, so who does
Nobody
that?
does that.
As long as you know how to use a calculator, you could calculate the payment. So again, 1.32% is the pay factor on a 9.99 10-year. So on a $10,000 loan for easy math,
That
it's
is so
132 bucks a
clever.
month. If I did a 6.99 15-year, plan number is 4089, it's the last three digits, 0.89%. Customer's payment's $89 a month
That's so
for 15 years. So a salesperson built this.
Really?
This is-
Love it.
This is how I think, because I know you can't get out of your own way, so I gotta help you.
Right.
Salespeople can't get out of their own way. I get it, I can't either.
Simple is good.
If you don't make it simple, I know you're not gonna do it, because I wouldn't do it.
Right. That's
If
good.
it ain't easy, I'm not interested.
That's good.
When I go to a restaurant, I'm not waiting. If I don't have a reservation, I'm paying someone, I'm jumping the line. I'm not waiting. It's just type A, and a lot of salespeople are type A personalities, especially good ones. They're type A's. It's just how I function. Yeah, some people, ADHD, self-diagnosed. My doctor said, you know what, I think I could probably get medicated. Why would I want to medicate this? Would I want to medicate this? You want to slow this down? Be like, I told you, 8.9%. You sit there, no. So, again, these two loan programs here designed for the payment customer, but I can also accommodate if the customer needs a lower monthly payment, because you're gonna run into it. Customers on fixed income, they wanna get the bathroom done. I gotta drive that payment down as far as possible. Got it? All right, now these two loans here, we refer to these as our hybrid loans. And I'm explaining what that means. A hybrid loan is a combination of a no interest, no pay, and a fixed interest loan. So, to your question, Daniel, I technically do have a loan that delays their payment if they want to go spend more money. I just wouldn't sell it like that. Does that make sense? So, the first one we're going to touch on is 4612. That's a 6-month no interest, no pay. Customer has 6 months, NINP. After the 6 months expires, keeping in mind that promotion doesn't begin until the work's installed, it converts to a 9.99 for 60 months. The only difference between these two are the promo period and the term. So for instance, this loan is what?
12 months.
12 months,
NINP.
but it converts, it's basically this loan on steroids. 9.99 for 10 years. I'm gonna rephrase kind of how you worded it. These loans are designed to create urgency. Because remember, the price isn't getting any cheaper. It's gonna continue to get more expensive. You think the manufacturers are gonna drop their price instead of getting a premium dollar for the products? They're gonna drop the price? No, they're gonna keep running it up. This is what they do. So when you're in a customer's home and they're talking about, because you hear all kinds of stuff, you know, we're just getting ready for our spring projects. Or, you know, we're gonna probably do it when we get back from Paris over the summer because we got this plan, we've been planning on it for 2 years, but we wanna just get some ideas on what things cost. You're gonna hear all kinds of stuff. But that's a time objection, I can overcome that. Because the 3 major objections you're gonna get in the house are time, which being number one, which is usually the number one reason, payment, how they're gonna pay, because there's always gonna be more expenses than they thought. And then you're gonna see less of this rate. Customers saying, I can go to my bank and get a better rate. We're seeing less and less of that because now people are starting to realize it doesn't exist. So, if a customer gives me a time objection, there's something very important that I need to find out. What is that?
How much time do they need?
How much time do you need? They may say they need 3 months because they just filed their taxes and they're getting a $5,000 return and they want to put that towards the project. But I need to know that. They'll tell you. Because if they give me a time objection and know how much time they need, I can accommodate based off what they say. They only need 5 or 6 months. Perfect, I can give them 12. Make sense?
Yeah.
If the customer gives me a payment objection, oh, well, man, that's the more than we thought that payment's woo. What do I need to find out?
How much
How
can
much
they?
can I do?
What's comfortable for you? And then you talk about rate. Oh, that's way too high. I've been banking with my credit union for 44 years and they know me. That's great. Okay, whatever. How about this, Mr. Jones? How about I give you 12 months? After the 12 months, converts to 9.9. You got 12 months to go to your bank and get the best rate you can possibly get. In the event you can't find a better rate, at least you got 9.9 to fall back on because I already know he can't. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating urgency. If I give you 12 months to go find the best rate you can find, and you beat it, perfect, pay it off. If you don't, you didn't lose anything. So again, I can overcome whatever objection I get here with that board right there. I don't need anything else. I don't need 90 programs to try to figure. Just, what do you need? Tell me how to close you, and I'll tell you, and I can overcome it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now, all of the loans, the maximum loan that we offer is $100K. But here are the minimums. These two are both $1,000. The 99120 is $3,000. 4089 is $3,000. 4612 is $1,000. And 41232 is $3,000. Now, I'm pretty sure you're not selling too many projects less than $3,000. But I'm just throwing it out there so you know. Yeah, I haven't seen any come through. But those are the minimums. Maximum's $100K, all unsecured. Any questions on any of those programs or what I've gone over so far? Good?
Yep.
All right. Before we jump into the app,
This wasn't the app?
now, this is gonna make the app make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The reason why I do that, because if you just jump into the app, people, oh, it's great. But if I don't give you understanding what it's about when you get in the app, it all doesn't mesh together. It's gonna mesh when you get in there. All right. So, I got this T up here. And I'm gonna put this ST over here, and I'm gonna put LT over here. What those stand for, if someone's gonna use finance, you're only a short-term finance customer, you want something short-term, you know, you maybe getting a bonus, you just wanna leverage, use someone else's money for a short period of time. That's what we call a promo buyer. And then we have LT, which is long-term, which we refer to as a payment buyer. You're one or the other, can't be anything else. You're anything else, you give me a check, or give me a credit card or something else. When we're talking about a short-term customer, we're talking about Plan 2012. If you're a cash buyer, and if something's less than 20,000 bucks, if you're a cash buyer, you can pay it off in 12 months. If you can't pay it off in 12 months, unfortunately, sorry to bust the bubble, you're not a cash buyer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about long-term customers, we're talking about 4132 and 4089. 10-year product, 15-year product. Payment buyers, give me a low monthly payment. I can buy from you. The payment buyers, yes, they look at the overall price, but their buying decisions are typically made off if they can pull out of their monthly obligations comfortably every month. That's how they make their buying decisions. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? They don't make their buying decision whether it's $40,000 or $50,000, because if that were the case, no one would drive a car. Minivan like 60 grand now. How you gonna buy a minivan, riding kids around, if you're worried about $60,000 price? No, you're just worried about how long you can extend a term, and if you can get the payment down to $455.37, I can drive it. That's how they buy. Is everyone following me though?
Yep.
So, I'm a firm believer of the KISS method.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. These are our 3 go-tos every single time. In the event I get an objection, I use these to pivot. Got it? Good? All right. I want everyone to log into the app.
Oh, I forgot my
Danny, can I get you a Kleenex?
I'll need a box. You might need some Band-Aids.
All right, everyone should be in the app. Let me log in down here too.
I can put it on my phone and put it up there on the screen if you want.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is that an Apple TV?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I can actually do it on my iPad.
Sweet.
Of course, I say that.
Yeah, I remember doing it last time too.
do.
I think I have to plug it into this.
You got it,
Oh, no. Oh, you're already
Do
trading.
you want to meet me in Phoenix or back here in March or?
I've lucked out this year coming to Chicago.
Yeah.
It was a lot colder last week.
Me too.
Yeah.
Every time I come, it brings sun from Oregon.
Yeah.
I get break.
They didn't touch it.
Where you from?
They didn't touch it.
South Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Florida.
I don't know
bones.
which. The only thing I don't. Oh, maybe it's not.
South Florida. So you're actually Cuban.
Not that far.
Oh.
I'm in Boca Raton.
Oh, that's a great golf course there.
There you go.
Yeah.
At the hotel, the old hotel.
And he can, yeah, he can
I
cast,
remember that.
he can cast.
Hey,
it.
really?
We just redid it.
Yeah.
$2 million renovation.
Yeah, we
Have you cast
stayed
it?
there.
Have you cast it, Chuck?
Yeah, Michael Dell bought it for
Yeah.
$900 million.
Yeah, they
19.
preserved it like the original.
They redid everything. Oh,
Yeah.
they redid everything.
That course was awesome.
Yeah, I got Teton tomorrow too.
Do you really? I'm gonna be leaving early tomorrow, Dennis.
I'll be hanging out with
All right,
Chuck tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
You're the only class that's gotten this out of 18.
Chuck?
Your close rate. Everybody else is looking at 30.
That's the right one.
There you go.
You're
Perfect.
looking
There we
at
go.
70.
Chuck is the first person I've seen Dan hug the entire time I've been.
And look what I got, Chuck. Look what I got. Bupkis. Tell me your name again.
All right, so everyone should be logged into the app. Let me log in here.
I'm gonna come behind you.
So everybody should be at this screen here.
Yep.
Now, what we're going to do, and I can't remember, Dan, what's the, what are you at running your bath? What's your average ticket these days?
17,250.
Okay, let's go with 17. All right, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna hit new loan application. Now, we're gonna click on proposal tool. Proposal tool is your best friend. It will help close deals in the house if you use it properly. I want you to click on proposal comparison. Once this opens up, it's gonna ask you for your state. So we're gonna go into the state, we're in Illinois. We're gonna use a $17,000 ticket. Now, once you put in the 17,000, you'll notice there's a blue box on option 1. You got it? If you hit the blue box, it will lock it in on option 2 and 3. So let's put in 17,000. We're gonna hit this blue box here. It's gonna drop it to 2 and 3. Got it? You see that? You don't have to type it 3 times. For the programs, we're gonna use 2012 for option 1. We're gonna use 4132 for option 2. We're gonna use 4089 for option 3. So let's do 2012, 4132.
This is already how we do it.
It's so easy.
And 4089. And your menus are restricted, so you're only seeing what we went over on the board. It's not like mine seeing 90. Now, once you hit proceed, it's gonna break it down. Now, the gentleman right here. You remember the question you asked me earlier?
Yes.
Do you see why I do what I do?
In regards to the interest rates, why the 120 or why the 180s less than the 120?
Yes. Okay. Don't answer anything. You'll see it in the next scenario. Let me see. You'll see it in the next scenario. Now, I want someone to read me what's on the screen on your device. You should have the same thing I have.
Option one, loan amount 17,000, no interest, no payments for 12 months, 84 months, 17.99 APR, monthly payments 357.20.
All of them.
Option two, loan amount 17,000, 9.99 APR for 120 months, 224.56. Option three, loan amount 17K, 6.99 APR for 180 months, 152.71.
Okay. You did everything I told you to do. Now I'm gonna tell you everything I don't want you to do. The first thing I do not want you to do is to say the price. We are not gonna say 17,000. If you say 17,000, you will probably get no more words out of your mouth
Yep.
if you say that. They're gonna pump your brakes real quick. Because that's gonna be, they're not running, it's gonna be way more than they thought. I want the customer hearing low numbers. It's no difference than when someone's reading something to you versus you looking at it, your brain has to process the information differently. So if you're reading something and someone's saying it, you're like, oh man, you're following along and everything. If you can't see what they're reading, you have to really focus on what's going on or you're gonna miss what's being said. That's why when people are talking, like, hey, listen up, because your brain can't do two things at once. It just can't do it. So when I go through these options, remember, when I'm sitting at the table, the customer has no idea what I'm reading. Their brain will subconsciously gravitate to what makes the most sense for them without them even knowing it. So watch what I'm gonna do here. Ms. Jones, you're sitting at the kitchen table and now you're getting, we're gonna start, we're about to close. This is important. This is how you make your money. I got 3 different payment options worked up for you. I didn't say financing, I didn't say anything. Because payment option can be anything. It can be cash, it can be, credit card. They don't know what I'm about to say, so they can't say anything. I got 3 different payment options worked up for you. Option 1, I've got no interest and no payments for 12 months. Option 2, I have 9.99 APR for 120 months with a payment of $224.56. And option 3, one of our more popular loans, Mrs. Jones, 6.99 APR for 180 months with a payment of $152.71. Which one works best for you? And shut your mouth. They'll see the 17, but they're gonna back away from it really quick. Because remember, even if it's a cash buyer, the first thing they heard was no interest and no payments for 12 months.
Yep.
They wanna know what that's all about. Whoa, what's this no interest, no payment? What's that in red? Because I didn't read what was in red. Because they're gonna ask me anyway, so they'll ask, oh, Mr. Jones, that's what the terms are after the promotion expired if it's not paid off in 12 months. A cash customer is gonna say, oh yeah, great, don't worry about that. It happened the other day, a rep called on the phone because the customer was going over loan documents and they saw the 1799. So the rep called me and said, hey, it was a new company I trained last week. It was his first deal he had did. So he's like, did what I told him, he got on the phone. The customer, he had me on speakerphone. Customer, he goes, hey, what's this? I said, oh, whatever her name was, the lady, I said, that's the default terms in the event the loan's not paid off in 12 months. And the first thing she said was, oh, that's not gonna be a problem. And she moved on. She just wanted to know what it was. If she'd have said, oh my goodness, whoa, 1799, what does that tell me?
She's not gonna pay it.
She's in the wrong loan.
Right.
So whoa, pump the brakes. That's not the loan for someone if they're balking at 1799 because they don't think they can pay it off. They have no intentions of defaulting on a loan because here's what you gotta remember. People that have money are concerned about 2 things. It's 2 words. That's it. They want to make sure that if I take it out of my cash flow, so if it's a $12,000 loan, say it's 12 months, if I take out $1,000 a month out of my monthly obligations or add it to my monthly obligation, is it going to disrupt anything? And if it doesn't, let's go. If that $1,000, well, that's getting up against the bubble, I'm a little uncomfortable, I can't go out and eat 4 days a week, then they're not going to buy. If it's disrupting something in their life that they like to do, they're not going to do it. Just so we're clear. This is the other reason why people don't retire. There was an article I read the other day. High net worth people are more concerned now that they don't have enough money to live on. That article was kind of offensive because high net worth people, think about that. They don't want to give up the lifestyle. Doesn't matter how much money you have. You could make $20,000 a year. Okay, there's certain things you can and can't do. You could make $1 million a year. There are certain things you can't do. You could make $10 million a year. Well, some things you ain't giving up. And high net worth people is the private jets. They ain't going back to Delta. I'm just telling you. Some of the guys in my club telling me, man, I told my wife less trips this year because he's not flying commercial. So everyone has that point. It means something to everything. So when I read that article, I was reading, I'm like, it's crazy. They're concerned they won't have enough money to live on because of how expensive things have gotten and inflation. So don't assume that you go into a house and you prejudge someone because they got a 3-car garage, living in a 6,000 square foot house. The house $2 million, is a prominent doctor in town. He cut his hand off, it's over. He's back to square one. So again, we shouldn't get caught up in what we're looking at, what we see, what kind of job they have, because yes, the jobs report, 517,000 people getting jobs. First of all, that's not good, because if people keep adding jobs, that means inflation's not coming down, and they're gonna keep stepping on the gas on rate. So when people say, oh, that's not a good sign. But then you read in more articles the next day, and every tech company's laying off 10 and 20% of their businesses every other day. It's not the lower jobs that are losing their jobs. It's the people that make the money that are losing their jobs. The 6-figure income earners, those are the ones getting clipped. Because when a public company can't make their earnings, where do they go? The people that make the most money. And they clip them. So don't get caught up again in what you're seeing in house and this and the jobs, because most households, if 2 people work, if one of them lose their jobs, something's changing in their life. Their lifestyle is changing. So again, I say that because it's very easy to get caught up when you're in someone's home. You don't know how much money they have. They're just broke at a higher level, that's it. You see what I'm saying there? Yeah. So again, by presenting this way, you take your bias out of it, and you let the customer say, which one works best for you? I don't know. They might make a lot of money, but they got 2 twin daughters going to start at Stanford next year, and they're paying for it. You don't know that. So present the options, and a cash customer may say, okay, yeah, it's a little more I want to spend here. How about I leverage your money? OPM stands for other people's money, and then they still buy. Because without it, those are smart people. Those are the ones that had lines of credit that they closed. They know they can't go to the bank and get the money. Those are the smart individuals. They know. So when you present options like this, that's why we've seen a huge increase in our promotional loans with customers that are making a lot of money, because they're just taking it out of their monthly obligations, or they're in a job where they get bonuses. Oh, I just pay it off when I get my bonus, or yeah, pay it off with that's how they buy.
It's literally.
Yeah, because people make a lot of money, they get them typically. Yeah, they have a salary, but they get them in performance and bonuses and things of that sort. So they buy. My job's like that. If I do something, yeah, I'm gonna pay it off this X money. That's how I make big buying decisions too. So you have to, and that's how they think. You just have to play into it. Does that make sense? Any questions on what I just did there? Because the next scenario I'm going to use, I'm coming back to you with the next question, but you probably figured out this next scenario. All right, let's go back to the app. Oh, let's hit back. hit top left. I want you to go back to this screen here. Because here's what we're gonna do differently this time. What we're gonna do this time is I'm not gonna lock in on a $17,000 bat that was designed, customer knows what they want. This next scenario, they're not 100%. They got a couple options. They may want the grab bar. I don't know, glass door. I don't know. Let's figure it out. So here's what I'm gonna do this time. The first option we're gonna put in at $13,000. The second option we're gonna put in at $16,000. And the third option we're gonna put in at $21,999. So once you go to proposal tool again, we're gonna click on proposal comparison. We are going to use the same 3 programs. So we're gonna go to the state of Illinois. We're gonna put in 13,000. 16,000 for option 2. And 21,999 for option 3. We're going to use 2012 for option 1, 4132 for option 2, and 4089 for option 3. And we're going to hit proceed. All right. Did you see what happened this time?
Yep.
What happened?
Well, there's not much of a price difference with those options. So if they're at $16,000, but they want to add those accessories, well, it's only $14-15 more a month to get those.
Is it more?
It's a lot more.
less.
It's less.
Or no,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the bigger price.
No, we ain't focused
Yeah.
on that. We're
Right,
talking
right,
about the
right.
payment buyer here.
Right.
Payment buyer just said, I save $14 a month and I get everything that I want.
Yep.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
That's why I do it that way.
That's awesome.
I want the customer, because remember this, the only reason they don't get the best is because of what?
Price.
Price. It's always about the money.
They're just trying
Anybody
to
tell
save
you,
money.
why do you go to Outback instead of going to Gibson's?
Price.
Price.
Convenience.
And then when someone says, well, the Outback steak's just as good, they full of shit.
They've never been to Gibson's.
But that's their justification for it.
Right.
I don't know Gibson's. I'm from Portland.
Had
so.
you know,
Oh, you got
Best
it.
steak in
You
town.
gotta go to Gibson's.
Fogo de
You
Chao.
can't know.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's if you want to overeat.
oh, I'm gonna overeat.
Yeah, that's if you want meat sweats. I don't want
Yeah,
meat
that's
sweats.
true.
Yeah, I don't want meat sweats.
I want to be carried on.
Yeah,
a
you want to be
stretcher.
carried out there green. Just keep it coming.
Mild cardiac infarction.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes, that's good too. But I don't want to go where I know I'm going to overeat. But yeah, that's the justification for that. You choose and pick the restaurant you're going to eat based off what you're willing to spend.
Right.
Because it's about the money. If all things were equal, they wouldn't go to Outback.
I'm
Would
going to
you?
Gibson 7 days a
That's
week.
7 days a week.
Definitely get meat sweats.
Yes. And you gain a lot of weight. But that's what their buying decision of. Yeah, that I really want it. Yeah, but I think it's because of the money. My job and your job as a consultant, because at the end of the day, that's all you are. You're not a salesperson. You go in there, you get your sheet, you design it, you come back, you answer your questions, what they like, and then you present a price and you go to close. All you're doing is consulting. That's all it is. You're the expert, not the customer. But I want to make the buying decision very easy. That's why I do it that way. Because what you'll find is the payment customer will gravitate more here, even though it's almost $6,000 more. Because that's not how they make their buying decisions. Their buying decisions is based off that number right there. Because all they're going to say is, can I pay it off early? Yes. Are they? Probably not. It's not but it's not your problem.
Hey Chuck, can I add something?
Yes.
Yesterday, guys, when I talked to you about this, what did I tell you about what we're not selling and what we are selling? I said, we're not selling an $18,000 shower.
yes. Remember?
We're selling a dream and a payment.
Right.
Our current sales force out there is selling
$22,000.
a $22,000 shower, a $16,000 shower. The ones that aren't selling that are selling a dream and a payment. How big of a dream do they wanna have?
And remember when I told you that the rhetoric, their thinking error, all your brain training that they've gotten this week, is they always tell me the same thing. Well, I'm not afraid of that number because, well, it's not about you, Gloria. It's about the customer. You may believe in the number. Totally get that. But the customer doesn't believe in that big number. You just scared the pee out of them. So, yeah, good, yay.
Dennis, it seems like Gloria's made a lot of mistakes. And I don't know
She
if
is
she should be
such
here.
a.
Here, I wouldn't even say it's a mistake. It's probably not a word. Here's the problem with salespeople. They can't get out of their own way. A lot of times when people are, it's because, and if you listen when they just keep talking. And then I'm like, that's your problem. You gotta start listening more instead of talking as much. Because what you do, you talk yourself out of it. And then more importantly, you'll talk the customer out of it. Because remember, my little graph up here, they're not moving. In the past, they're going, oh, well, I'm not gonna be here that long and we're gonna move. Not now, they can't afford to move. So the bathroom that they've always wanted, well, now it's time to put the money back into the home because they can't go anywhere.
It's their forever home, whether they like it or not.
It just changed to a forever home. Yeah. Literally. And that's what we're seeing. That's why the demand, I always say this. The home improvement industry in my whole adult life, this is all I've all been in. Now, I did teach school for 6 months.
That's what
until I
I thought.
realized they can't make any money out of that ain't for me.
Oh.
Not the money I want to make.
No, I know.
But are you a teacher today?
You are a teacher today.
I am a trainer.
You're a teacher.
He is.
You're
Yes,
still a teacher.
they
You're
know.
teaching us right
They
now.
know, yeah.
But you get paid better for it.
Yeah.
Still justifying it.
So-
Yeah. But what happens is what I'm talking about, my whole adult life has been trained this. This is it's not recession-proof industry, but it is damn sure resistant. I tell people that all the time. The only thing that controls this industry is credit. The demand's gonna be there. Are defaults gonna go up a little bit and declines in 2023? Yeah, we're already seeing it. But that's not because the demand's not there. You see what I'm saying? They're always gonna want to do their bathroom. Because they go in it every day. They're always going to do their HVAC system. They're always going to do their roofing, their roof. They're going to have roof leaks. They're always going to want to put solar in their house. They're always going to do the outdoor patio living space. So it is resistant to the demand. That's why this industry is so great. They're not going anywhere. Yes.
What credit score do they have to hit before we decline?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll go there because we have a new waterfall to accommodate to that, but I don't want to confuse you right now.
Gotcha.
I'll touch it. So that's why we're doing this, and then when I get in some of the waterfall credit things that we're doing and what's coming down the pipe, is because we are already seeing it. The great thing about now being owned by a bank, we're owned by Truist Bank, they bought us last December, is that we get insight from all the other departments. The auto, mortgage, credit cards. We see how they're all performing on the other side, which helps on our decisions on this side. So we get, versus us looking at the news and coming to our own issues, we get it from the other side of the bank. Well, in the auto industry, we're seeing 30-day late payments skyrocket. Okay, that means that we're going to be affected somehow. Well, on the mortgage side, no one's moving anywhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is what we got to do here. We already see it. You got it? All right. Now, once we get here, let's just say for a second, the customer goes, yeah, I really don't need that glass door. Okay, so that was really the only deciding thing here, and they don't want it. But they really like that 6.99 rate and that low monthly payment because they can pay it off. And the customer goes, well, if we were to go with the middle option, can we get that program? What's my answer?
Yes.
Of course, Mrs. Jones. But what's the next question they're going to say?
How much is the payment?
How much is my monthly payment? Well, you got to answer. You can't say, I don't know. So what I've done is, since now I've isolated the objection, which was payments, a payment objection, I can now go back here. Everyone go back on your device. Instead of clicking on proposal comparison, I'm going to click on payment calculator. I don't want the other noise. I want it to isolate what it is. So I'm going to go to payment calculator. We're gonna put in that amount of 16,000. We're gonna put in the state of Illinois. We're gonna go down the plan 4089. We're gonna go down to our home improvement, which is bath.
We have a bath?
Where is
It's
it?
down lower.
It's somewhere here. We add stuff and they change it. I don't know.
It's down lower.
Bathtub and
Keep
shower
going.
systems?
Yep, there it goes. Bathtub and shower system. And it calculates. How's 143.72 for you, Mrs. Jones?
Out of the park.
Because remember, here's the magical number, just so you know. When you have two people bringing in income in home improvement, here's the magical number.
I knew that. Yay.
You taught us that yesterday.
Yep.
If you can keep the payment 150 or less, two people bringing in an income, there isn't any lifestyle changes that have to take place. If you get into 250, 350, 400, to the average person, some things may have to change. Johnny's might not be able to be in the soccer league anymore. So something's got to give.
Too bad
So-
for Johnny.
Yeah, too bad for Johnny. We get in the bathroom. No more soccer, Johnny. So we have to make sure that when we're designing and pricing, not pricing it, but when you're coming to these options, that's why I had that 15-year product in there, because I know I need to drive that payment down as low as possible so I can make that buying decision easier. But not only that, by offering this 6.99 rate, customer, they can't get it anywhere else. So why not do it?
And they're not going anywhere.
And they're not
So,
going anywhere.
The thing that I was like thinking about when I was playing around with this is 15 years is a long time. But now we're talking about nobody's going anywhere. So
Not going
15 years is not a long time then.
'Cause
And they
here's
can
what
pay it
happens.
off whenever the heck they want.
Here's what happened. Rates will eventually come back down.
Right.
They ain't happening this year. Probably not next year either.
Yeah.
But eventually, over the course of time, customers are paying down that loan, they're throwing money at it. They're going to eventually refi again at some point in time. They'll dump a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But that low monthly payment right now makes sense, and they can enjoy that bathroom right now.
Right.
Because they're home, they're stuck there.
Right.
Might as well enjoy the bathroom.
That's what I'm saying.
Versus going and looking at another house that has the bathroom and all that, because that's what was happening. People are like, I'm not gonna do it because I'm moving, and then these are the things on my wish list. Like my wife, she wants to move again. I'm like, oh, you paying for it? I mean, like, what are you talking about? So there's a checklist. There's certain things we both like, and there's certain things that have to have in a house. Then when you go into a new house, those are things you want. So when people were moving, they just said, well, I'm not gonna spend the money now. I'll just get that in a newer home that was remodeled or something like that, or get that house and remodel that one. But now, since that's out of the equation, might as well fix up the one we have now. And that's why the bath business is huge. That's why a lot of the remodelers added bath on
Well, it makes
that were
sense because
window room, because
they're like stuck. And so why not like treat yourself a little bit? It's not going to affect your life. Let's get that bathroom taken
It's gonna
care
make
of.
your life better.
It's going to make your life way better.
A key insert here is this. Remember what we talked about with Maslow and then with Bloom's hierarchy is don't forget, don't let your confidence in what Chuck's teaching get you out over your skis where you become predictive. You still have to have the customer come to these solutions and realizations. Is this your forever home? Authentically present with the customer, as opposed to, well, we all know we're all screwed now. This is going to be your forever home, right? Because there are a lot of people that do that. They become too forceful.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah, like I said, you don't do anything different than what you're doing. All I'm telling you, just when you present the options, just take your bias out of it. Present them and let the customer pick which one works for them. Because again, you don't know what's going on in their background of their life. That's why I'm saying the analogy with twins. You don't know what's going on. They could have, one of them could have just lost their job last week. You just don't know. Once the customer says, let's move forward, let's go through the approval process. So I want everybody to go ahead and click apply now. You're gonna hit, I want everyone to go ahead and hit scan driver's license, because that is 85% of our applications come in that way. I want you to go ahead and grab your ID. It's not gonna pull your credit, it's not gonna save your information, but I do wanna show you how easily the information pulls into the app. So when you go in, hit scan driver's license, the first time it's gonna ask you for some permissions. Just hit yes. It's asking you to use your camera. You need to. It's gonna ask you to get push notifications. You need to hit yes. Once you do that, scan the barcode on the back of the ID.
Not your fake ID.
Boom, what did it say?
Is this the right address?
Basically, it's saying, is this where the work is being done? Once you hit yes, go ahead and hit yes. It will pull in all of the information from the front of the ID. Your name, issue date, expiration date, driver's license number. All I'm doing is pre-filling everything that you would have to manually fill out. And why am I doing that? Speed. I don't want, when the customer just said yes, I'm ready to move forward, we don't want any hiccups now.
Fish is
We
coming
don't
up
want
to
you
the
typing
boat.
in the wrong thing.
Bam.
I want to pull everything right in from the app. All you then have to put in additionally would be their telephone number, their email address, of course their social security number at that point in time, because we need to get it, pull a credit report. And then if you go down to the bottom of the app, you see right down at the bottom of the app before it goes to the submit, it says gross monthly income. So if I go in here on mine, and it's say the address is out of state, or they moved and haven't changed it, because people are slow to change their ID. If you click on enter manually, it will pull
You
up.
wanna use my ID? Would you mind using my
Yeah.
ID? Is that okay? Just so I can see it on the screen?
Yeah. So
Appreciate it.
scan driver's license. Oh, I used the GPS location, so let's do this. All right, scan driver's license. Go to the barcode. Is this the property of the address being serviced?
Yes.
I hit yes. I basically pulled in name, last name, issue date, expiration date, driver's number, all these fields. Boom, go down. You, of course, then have to put in the social and stuff, and it masks out the digits when you put in telephone number. Because you touch the screen. Is the billing address the same? If it is, boom, I pulled it down. If the billing address is different, because the customer, yes.
Every time I enter in my gross annual salary, it's like, please confirm 3 million is your gross annual salary
Because this doesn't say gross annually salary.
or annual income.
It doesn't say gross annually income. What does it say?
Please confirm that the annual income is $3 million.
Go back. In the input screen, what does it say? Indian.
$250,000.
What does it say before that?
Google.
What does it say? Gross what?
Gross monthly income.
Monthly.
Huh.
Gross monthly.
Are you a billionaire?
What did I tell y'all about the Indian earlier? I'm still back
God,
1,000.
You know
I'm
what?
Still back 1,000.
We are clearing this room.
Salespeople, man. Salespeople.
God, I'm gonna have to get
you
more
missed it earlier.
Kleenex.
They all
I'm
told me
gonna
everything was
get
wrong.
Kleenex.
And I said, Indian or the arrow. Indian's getting shot right now because it's Indian. But that's why I do that. And you just brought a great point. Because if that happened in the house, customer would be like, oh, it's monthly. I'm having you confirm it before you put it in so it's right. That's what, I know what salespeople do. That's why I did it. Oh man, I sold it. Yeah, his brain said annual. He didn't even think about he didn't even read it.
Brain said annual.
All he saw was gross and his brain finished the sentence, annual. And then I kept asking him and he kept saying annual because he'd already told himself it was annual until I said, read it. Oh, monthly. That's what the brain does. If the brain's, sometimes you look at something like your email, it's not right. Then I looked at it and the first thing I saw that was a pound sign. It wasn't an at. I saw it right away, but your brain was telling you that it was right, so you're like, it can't be wrong. So your brain's saying it's not wrong. Crazy. Until someone else looks at it, I saw it in 1 second, I'm like, yeah, pound sign. That's why. You see? The brain is so sensitive.
And
We
you
don't
know
think
why,
about it.
because I taught you all week.
Yeah, that's
right?
what he's been teaching.
It's so crazy. That's why people a lot of times see me, and I don't. Dan could probably. Have you ever seen me not in a great mood, smiling?
Never.
I'm like this all the time.
Everyone
Now,
says
I might get to my hotel room, like, oh, man, I just. But when I walk out that door, I've done trainings all over the United States, feeling like death. You wouldn't know it. It's like when I played baseball in college. My coach always said, When you step across the white line, all your problems stay over here. When you go back across the white line, you pick up your problem and go deal with them. Just because I'm having a bad day, I shouldn't portray that on you. It's not your problem. You shouldn't get a bad training from me because I'd rather be playing golf right now. That's not your problem. So when you tell yourself, I feel great, someone else, I'm fantastic, I'm vibrant, people say all the time, why are you always so happy? Because I am. I could be having the worst day possible. You wouldn't know it.
You're the Kevin Hart of financing.
And remember, and another reason why I say that
Wow.
is because when you're in the house, saying
Yes.
the customer feeds off you.
Yes. Yes.
If you think 21,000 is a lot, they can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But if you think, it's low, they're like, oh man, I must be getting a great price. This is great. Yeah, he can. They feed off of that.
Yep.
That's why when people get in a bad rut, salespeople, I just tell them, they just can't hit it. First of all, the number one problem is they're probably missing something in the process. They're skipping something because they sold 2 deals like that. They just short, cut the process. But when someone's running hot, man, it goes in waves. They're doing everything, boom, boom, boom. It's when you get out of that and you start changing it. That's why new salespeople a lot of times come out of the gate crushing it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's bam,
Yep.
because they now think they're smarter than the process. You gotta stick with the process.
We got to go on the road. We got to go on the road.
You've got it right here.
So when that billing address is the same, it's done. Now when you go to that gross monthly income we were just talking about,
You mean
like-
annual?
yeah. When we hit that 6,000 and put next, that's great. Mr. Jones, just want to confirm, annual income 72,000. We got everything. You want to make sure because that's your last step before you're submitting that ad. And if you put in the wrong numbers, it's going to fly. Could decline the loan because the debt to income could be thrown off. So make sure. Think of it this way: anytime I pop a box up, just read it. It's for your own good. I mean, just confirming that it's correct. Got it? All right. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull this up here. You can go ahead and hit back on your device because we're not going to.
Pull our credit.
Yeah.
I got a few questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I got 3 questions total. So do you guys require proof of income, and if so, how would
No.
we get that over to Service Finance?
No.
All right. And then do you guys accept ITIN numbers? If someone has an established ITIN with
No.
credit history?
If they don't have a United States Social Security number, you cannot pull their credit report.
And what if someone wanted to put it under their business name? Would we put the tax ID
No.
under the?
So all residential has to be in person. Can't put it in their business.
Ooh.
Is it easier just to do a single app? Because like someone says, I don't think my credit's as good, can I add my wife on there? Is that gonna help at all or no?
Here's what I always say. In a scenario like that, you're better off putting them both, and then we can at least see both reports.
Okay.
We may come out and say, hey, take Joe off and just submit it with Mary.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't see it, I mean, we had a customer one time thought he had bad credit. It was 760. The reason why he thought it because his wife was 842. 760, he still could have got whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
But in his mind, he thought it was bad credit.
Okay.
So just because they say it, now, usually when they say that, they know.
Right.
Because they did Mr. Car payment. But I always say put them both because we can then at least see what we're working with to see what our options are.
Okay.
Because you can always submit it back with one of them and still get the approval versus trying to guess on which one has better credits because you just don't know.
Okay. That's good.
How long after you submit the application typically are you gonna get an approval or?
5 seconds.
pending?
5 seconds?
And if somebody's credit's not stellar,
1 second.
they,
It usually comes back red really
no,
quick.
I mean where it's.
I actually have had people say, man, I think it came up before I finished hitting the button.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think I did something wrong. Like, no, it was 400. We sensed it. They were so bad. Because remember, the first triggers score.
Right.
The score is way below minimums. There's nothing to look at anything else. So it's
I'm
just
talking
boom.
about
Stop.
the in-between people. It's like 6,
It's,
20.
it's still going to be 5 seconds.
Okay.
It's technology.
Well,
The
no,
algorithms
I
are.
just, the industry I came around was Medallion Bank. It was like pending.
How dare you put them in,
I
in
know,
the presence
I know.
of me?
I just wanted to make sure.
No, we are now the largest home improvement lender in the country. We have
Okay.
passed Crane Scott. We are now the largest home improvement lender in the United
Okay.
States. And everything we do is all about speed. Because I came from the people at Medallion never sold in the house. You gotta remember, when people have never sold in the home,
Hated them.
our underwriters are like that, and people in our office, because they never done it. I'm like, guys, here you don't understand. They're sitting in front of the customer.
Right.
We have to have some sense of urgency here. If I told you that the company couldn't pay you this Friday because Truist, I don't know, went on a trip, you'd be like, well, I'm not coming to work on Monday. Well, that's because that's your mentality.
Right.
Think about that's how they make a living. Decisioning. They don't think, everybody don't think like that. So when we're designing and building things, I'm always, how fast is it?
Good.
Because now I'm talking, we gotta get faster because our business is growing, so we gotta get things faster.
Yeah, the longer it takes for that approval process, the more they have time to think about, like,
Exactly right.
what am I doing?
This is a sign from above.
100%.
My Uncle Joe said never buy on the first day. They will say anything.
So true.
So that's why I did ID. Boom, proof, boom. ID. I want that thing. Boom, 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 click, boom, done, boom, done. And some customer, oh, that was easy. I don't want it to be hard.
It shouldn't be.
No. But, so the last thing, the documents, the most important thing. Once you submit that application, we have to get those documents signed. You don't leave that house without those docs signed.
Contract.
Our docs. I don't know
Oh, the
about
e-doc,
your contract.
e-doc.
Yeah, the e-docs. Because remember, they just got approved. The documents are there. I'm going to show you real quick on this screen, on my computer screen here, because this is like the easiest thing. It just is so easy. You can't mess it up. Once you submit that ID information we just did, it's going to send a push notification. It's going to pop right on the screen.
Right.
It's going to give you a status. Approved. That's what we want. It could be declined. It just is what it is. Could be approved counter offer. Approved counter offer means that something on the loan terms have changed. Could be the dollar amount. You asked for $50,000, we approved them for $35,000. That would be an approved counter offer. You could have asked for a 9.99, and we countered it to a 12.9, which I'm gonna talk about that soon. I'm done here. That's a counter offer because of credit. It's now gonna tell you that, so you need to review those terms when you click OK and let the customer know that the terms slightly changed. If it says under review, that means that the auto decisioning model couldn't decision it, and that underwriter's manually looking at the credit report.
How long does that take?
2 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
It depends on, it could be quicker than that, it just depends on what they needed to look at. Sometimes it'll throw under review because the customer has multiple loans with us. Doesn't mean they're gonna decline it. They just need to make sure everything on the other loan is okay before they decision. So we have like 2 to 4 minutes.
It's exactly, yes.
If the customer, if it comes back withdrawn, that means that they have a freeze on their TransUnion credit report. They would need to lift the freeze on TransUnion. Once the customer lifts that freeze, and a lot of apps you can do on your phone now too, you don't have to resubmit the loan. It still gave you a loan number. That's when you have to call in the office and say, hey, Mrs. Jones or Betty just lifted her credit block. Can you please go ahead and pull it? They're gonna ask you for the loan number. They're gonna send it over to an underwriter to hit the button of decision again so we can grab the report. It'll then send you a new push notification as soon as they're done.
You guys just use TransUnion or any of the?
Yeah, we use TransUnion. We used to look at TransUnion and Experian, but now since we're owned by a bank, they don't like you looking at multiple credit reports. Because now you're credit shopping, they don't like that.
It's awesome that they give us a reason why, so you know.
Oh, exactly.
Because with previous companies, it'll just say pending, but it could be a million different reasons.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yep.
This is so good.
Until you call it,
People
this
have
is-
never done finance.
Because you gotta remember, if I don't give you a decision there, again, it's like you said, you give them people all these other reasons on why not to do it.
Lost sales because they sat there for an hour.
Yeah. So we're trying to get everything done as quickly as we possibly can. Once that is done, it's gonna reroute you to the login page. That login page, you just need to put in the customer's 7-digit loan number, which we just provided. It's gonna ask them for the 4 consecutive missing digits of their social security number to log in for security. Once that's done, box is gonna pop up. All that box is their name, address, what the sale price was, if they put a down payment, what the finance amount is, and what the loan program is. Customer's like, yep, that's me, click. Mrs. Jones, you're signing electronically, you have to consent? Okay, great. We're gonna scramble their signature 3 ways. What signature would you like on your documents? That one. Customer clicks it,
Oh my God.
you're done. There is no paperwork. It's a completely paperless process. That is the only thing that's required for you to do. To get them to sign the documents, the office is notified immediately, and you're done. There's nothing left for you to do.
It was so simple.
Yes.
Is there a service finance app for them to make their payments through?
Actually, it's interesting you just said that. Well, if you look when you logged in, our on Apple device, our star is like 2 stars. Because all the customers think it's theirs. So they log in and say, I can't get in my loan to pay my bill. We have one that's in development right now. We just tested yesterday where the customer will have an app now that they can do it. In the past, we weren't going to do it, but we have a lot of customers that have multiple loans with us. I mean, they could have a loan with 4 Seasons Heating and Air down the street, or ABC, Google. They could have it with a roofing company here in the market. And now you came into, they have a lot of loans, so customers want to be able to get to them quickly. So now we developed an app where they can actually go ahead and do that.
Can they do automatic withdrawals?
Once we fund the loan, they can set up auto pay and all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Should I get the first bill? Right?
Yeah, just have to get a first bill because until we fund it, the loan doesn't exist.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. The waterfall, and I'm done. Because this is all fairly somewhat new, but it's going to be slightly changing in May or in March. So I'm going to kind of give you. You're actually the first company that I explained this to because I actually was sat in a meeting on Monday finalizing all this. All right. So you'll notice over here that we've got a 9.99 10-year loan. So we have a 9.99 10-year loan. We also have a 6.99 15-year loan. We have a 9.99 60-month loan. I'll put that one over here too as well. And we have a 9.99 120, which is really 132 because we have a 12-month no on the front. Now, all those loans require a 660 score above. If the customer, and I'm telling you this, not that you have to bring it up to the customer, don't even talk about credit scores with the customer. Don't bring them out and talk about it. Not your problem. You don't know anything because as soon as you tell them they need a 660 score, the customer's like, I have a 662. Why wasn't I approved? So why even get involved with that? Just so they're above it doesn't mean they're getting approved. The 2 biggest factors that have changed in credit, which I talked about earlier, is credit card utilization rates are through the roof. People are maxing out their credit cards. And DTI, which is debt to income ratios, are way out of whack. So we actually do 2 checks on both of those. We used to look at them, but we didn't look at them because we always knew people could get out of it by refinancing their house. Well, they can't anymore. So if a customer's carrying a very high on either one of these or both could decline it, but one or the other, and they're above that score, we're not going to decline it, but we're going to counter the loan. We're going to counter the risk, but we're not going to raise your fees to the company because it's not your problem either. We're going to pass the risk on to the consumer. So if it's a 9.99 120 months, we're going to counter it to a 12.90 for 120 months. Only raising the APR to 3%. Customer's payment may go up like $6 or $7, but they still got to prove. If it's a 6.99 180 month, we'll counter it to a 9.90 for 180 months. We're basically adding 3% to the customer's APR. If it's a 9.99 120 month, which is really 132 month, since it's greater than 125, it will change to a 12.90. Same thing here. Only difference is it'll be 180 months. So in this scenario, the payment would actually go down. This customer here would get a 3-month, no interest, no pay on the front as well. This customer here had a 12-month, no interest, no pay, but we dropped it down and we're lowering it to 3. If it counters down here, we also add a 3-month, no interest, no pay on the front, and a 3-month, no interest, no pay on the front. So we're giving the customer a hybrid. So again, it'll say that'll be approved counter offers. So you want to make sure you go over those terms with the customer when it pushes back. There's a joke, but here's what you gotta do. It's positive, guys. You still gotta improve. Don't well, man. We got you approved, but
The fish was in the boat.
13% rate, Mr. Jones. No, man. Great news got you approved. Long term's changed a little bit. Instead of a 132 payment, your payment's gonna be like 147. Here are the new terms. Still no prepayment penalty, and we're also giving you 3 months of no interest, no payment. Keep it positive.
It virtually defers it. It just kicks it down the road a little bit. Like you don't have anything no interest, no payment, you know, like instead of it happening right here today, right when everything is done, you got 3 months of leeway. So it's almost like what Danny was saying
The
with the.
customers are taking them.
Oh, heck, yeah.
They're taking them. Some people are like, oh man, no one's gonna pay that. Yeah, they will. What are you talking about? 6.99 get a 9.9? Of course they're gonna take it. 9.9, 12, they know their credit.
Yeah. They're happy,
Yeah.
they're happy they're getting approved.
Yeah, they're happy to get approved. Now, if you drop below this, all of that's out the window. We got one last resort. So 13.90 for 120 months, with maximum loans 15K, and that goes down to a 600.
Holy smokes.
Credit score?
Yeah.
So if you see anything that has a .90 on the end, it's a counter offer. Just so you know in your head, because all the other ones are 9.9s, 9.0s are counters. And if you see a 13.90 counter, run with it, because they're not getting approved anyway. Yes.
So if the loan is, or if what they spend is, what it costs is 18,000, they get approved for 15, they have to come up with 3
The difference.
Yes. Yeah.
up front.
Well, that depends on what you guys do as a company.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Say that again?
He's
It's
basically
an
saying if you had an
$18,000
$18,000
walk-in
job,
shower.
they get down here, we cap at 15. What do
They-
you do about the other 3? That's
You can either go to the second look, or you work with them to they have to come up with the $3,000.
What's the second one?
What a little bottom feeder.
yeah. And from when I talked to your corporate office yesterday, there's not a lot of them are getting picked up. If we decline it, there's not anybody buying that stuff.
Yeah.
So they gotta come up with the 3.
Yep, they gotta come up with a 3.
You'd be surprised how many customers down there have the 3,000.
And
You'd be
the
surprised.
interesting thing is the amount of people that we could give you anecdotally, they'll come up with the 3.
Oh, they'll get it.
They have 3 months then to come up with a 3?
No.
No.
Or
Whenever
is that-
you want to take the 3 from them,
Oh,
it's 18,000. I'm sure your commission, they ain't getting paid until you get all the money. So yeah, come up with the money.
That day.
Give me 1,500 right now. An install 1,500. I don't know. That's your company policy, but
Yeah,
you
right.
let them figure it out.
If the fish is right there at the boat, you can make it a be back. They want the product. They're that close to the payment. Just work out the time frame with Dan. That's a Dan call.
Okay.
Is there a way to send an application if someone's not present? Like their aunt wants to finance it in Michigan?
You can put a cosign because all you gotta do, remember, you can manually do it. So if they say it's their husband, like for my wife,
Yeah.
I travel a lot.
Right.
She's doing something that I was going on along with her. She just called me and give her my information.
Okay.
Because she doesn't know my ID
legally
information by heart.
sign for you?
What?
She can legally sign for you?
She won't. They'll send me the email.
Oh, gotcha.
Because remember, you put in an email. She could sign live. They would send me an email and I could log in and do the signature. Yeah. No, she cannot legally sign for me.
How frequently are you seeing with either PBC, et cetera, that people don't have emails?
Very rarely.
Okay.
It's if you have a smartphone, you have to have an email. And everybody has a smartphone now. Even I don't care how old you are. I mean, you
Yeah.
see 80-year-olds walking around with an iPhone. They can't see it, but they got it. You'd be a lot of times I think, and we're seeing less of it. A lot of times in the beginning, with a lot of technology, reps get in their own way. Well, our customers don't have emails. How do you know that? Did you ask them? They may not check it every day, but they have it. My mom uses email and text more than I probably like. She's like, I sent you an email. When? Because I didn't see it. Yesterday. Okay, great. It's so they have it. They have technology. They use it because now everything's going so If you don't use it, you just can't. There's some places you go, if you don't have it, they just won't do business with you.
We could just create a Gmail form really quick if
Like,
they really
seriously,
don't
yeah.
have one.
That's what the veterans are doing.
I've ran into that like 3 times in my whole career.
My dad's got
Some
3
of it.
email addresses.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to log into any of it.
Yeah, he might not be log in, but he set it up and he's
He's
got
got
it
'em.
because it's like
I set him
that's
up
how
for it.
everything's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else? That's
What would they be making their payments through? Would that be through your website, or how would they access that information?
the first time they'll have to set up their online account, which they can go to our website and set it up, or because their first statement will come in the mail, they could actually set it up. There's a paper in there. They could actually send in a paper form to set up auto pay and stuff like that. But yes, once they have that, we have an online dealer portal where they can log in and set up their stuff.
Okay.
and the caution flag about the numbers that the customer's gonna see when the paperwork gets there and they go, oh my God.
The $17.99? Yeah, so like we were talking earlier with one customer, any promotional loan, the first thing they're gonna see is $17.99, because by truth and lending, the loan documents have to disclose what the default terms are by law. That's why that rep called me the other day. All you do, don't worry about that. That's the payment if you don't pay that off. That's what your term is going to. And the monthly payment. Oh, okay.
But you need to make sure that you convey that to the customer.
Because they're gonna see it.
We get those calls at corporate for reps that don't.
Yeah, because they blow right by it. The rep will blow right by it. Yeah, 0%, but then the customer gets a copy of their documents, and when they're home sitting on the couch, they're like, you know what? Let me just pull this up and see what I got here. First thing they see, $17.99. Oh, that's not what he told. Calm down. This is what, and then she's telling her fun. Yeah.
Good.
All right. That's it for me.
You're out, brother.
Perfect.
Thank you.